let's just jump straight in because today we are embarking on a really profound personal transformation journey. Have you ever just stared down a massive project? You know, a giant spreadsheet, a grueling workout, or maybe trying to learn some crazy, complex new skill, and you just hit this absolute crushing wall of resistance? Well, if that sounds familiar, you're in exactly the right place. Because over the next few minutes, we're going to fundamentally change how you tackle those exact moments of hesitation. We're going to literally hack the underlying biology of your habits and unlock a completely new way to operate.
Take a heavy, thoughtful pause with me right now. Your brain isn't lazy. Really let that sink in for a second. Honestly, I hope that absolves you of some of the guilt you might be carrying around. Because for years, you've probably been beating yourself up for avoiding hard work, right? Labeling yourself a procrastinator, or telling yourself you just completely lack discipline and willpower. But here's the reality. Your brain is simply acting as a highly evolved protective mechanism. It's just doing its job. It's shielding you from what it perceives as discomfort.
So that brings us to the big question that serves as the hook for our entire journey together today. What if you could make your brain actually addicted to doing hard things? Just imagine if you didn't have to rely on that fleeting motivation that always vanishes when you need it. Imagine if you could actually flip a switch in your own biology, so that instead of running away from a challenge, your brain begins to genuinely crave the difficulty.
Let's get right into Section 1, the myth of laziness. Why your brain protects you from discomfort.
You've got to deeply internalize this next point. You are not weak. You are just trained wrong. That heavy resistance you feel isn't a character flaw at all. It's literally just a training issue. Somewhere along the line, your brain learned the completely wrong lessons about effort and reward. And hey, the beautiful, incredibly empowering thing about training is that it can always be fixed. We just have to manually correct the programming that's been silently running in the background.
Let's look at exactly how this incorrect training happens in the first place. We call these the brain's false wins. Every single time you avoid a hard task, your brain actually logs it as a massive victory. It literally thinks it just saved you from a threat, and to reward you for surviving, it releases just enough comfort to keep you completely trapped in that behavior loop. That comfort shows up as mindless scrolling on your phone, unnecessary snacking, or deciding that you suddenly, desperately need to color coordinate your sock drawer instead of doing actual work. Your brain is basically giving you a standing ovation for doing absolutely nothing of value.
Which leads us to Section 2, the dopamine shift. The absolute magic of anticipating the start.
Now, here's where the fascinating science of dopamine comes in. Most of us mistakenly believe dopamine is the reward we get when we cross the finish line, like a trophy. But biologically, it doesn't spike when you finish. It spikes when you anticipate a reward. It is the chemical of craving and pursuit. If we want to change our habits, we absolutely have to leverage this core biological truth. We have to intensely focus on the dopamine that occurs right at the start. That means we have to abandon the old story, attaching all your excitement to the end of the hard work. That mindset leaves you totally starved of dopamine when you need it the most, when you were actually doing the difficult thing. Instead, we're going to embrace the new story. We are forcing all of your anticipation and excitement onto the very first step of the task. To genuinely transform, you absolutely must abandon the finish line and focus all your anticipation on the beginning.
Let's move to Section 3, rewiring your identity, building a totally new story through tiny rewards.
Here is how you actively put this into practice and rewire your brain. Every single time you start a hard task, and again, not when you finish, just when you start, you must immediately give yourself one of these tiny rewards. Give yourself a quick fist pump. Dramatically draw a giant check mark on a sticky note, or say a specific phrase out loud. By doing this the literal second you lean into the friction, you are manually triggering that dopamine anticipation spike and putting it exactly where it belongs.
And what is that specific phrase you should use? That's like me. I want you to literally say it out loud the next time you open up that daunting project. That's like me. You are using this vocal cue as the pivotal anchor point of your new identity. You're officially declaring to your brain that you are the exact type of person who tackles difficulty head-on.
Because this right here is the exact new story you are teaching your brain. Hard things equal identity. Hard things equal reward. By constantly rewarding just the start of the task, you are fundamentally replacing the old you, the one who sought those false wins of snacking and scrolling, with the new you. And the new you gets a literal rush of dopamine simply by choosing to engage with a tough challenge.
Section 4, the 7-day challenge. This is the ultimate behavioral loop. I want to walk you through this mandatory 7-day loop.
This is your exact, step-by-step formula to completely hack your behavior. Step 1, start hard. Deliberately pick the difficult task. Step 2, reward the start. The very millisecond you begin, do the fist pump or say, "That's like me." Step 3, repeat. Do this consistently for 7 days straight. You are manually forcing your biology to associate the onset of friction with a massive hit of dopamine.
If you actually follow this loop, I can reassure you of something truly incredible. Your brain is eventually going to stop fighting you. It's going to completely stop dreading difficulty, and it will start actively chasing it. Because you've successfully attached all that excitement to the beginning of the work, your brain will start craving the very things that once scared the life out of you. The hard path becomes the only path you actually want to take.
Which brings us to our final and probably most important thought. If the hard path becomes the only path you want to take, where is that going to lead you next? Just think about that. When you no longer run from friction, but instead use it as the absolute catalyst for your own personal transformation, your potential becomes completely limitless. Keep that deeply empowering thought with you as you close this out, perfectly prepared to go conquer whatever difficult task is waiting for you next.